Capricorn, hello. Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your October shift reading. So we're looking at the shape you are shifting out of this month, the shape you shift into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. So Capricorn, the sensation that's coming to me as I'm sitting with your energy is one of preparedness and prediction, just a little bit. Like I got the image of you going outside. You're in your house and you're sort of sensing something that's going on outside. And you go outside and you're looking at the sky and you're like feeling the air. There's something about you being able to sense that it's going to rain before it does, you know, and it was like you're watching the weather. But it wasn't about necessarily watching the news. It was more, I mean, maybe that's a part of it, but it was more sensory, you know, like I felt you going outside and sort of like feeling the air with your hands and smelling the air and like sensing the level of precipitation, you know. It was like you could feel that it was about to rain. And then it was like, while you were sensing that, it started to drizzle. And then it was like, okay, I know what to do. It was very much a sense of like preparedness and sensing the changes, sensing what's happening. Watching the weather, Capricorn. Watching the weather. Okay. Let's go to your cards. We're using the Slow Holler Tarot. And we're going to start by asking, what is the shape that Capricorn is shifting out of in October? Okay, wow. This flipped immediately. The Nine of Swords. Lovely. It's lovely to be shifting out of this energy. It's a difficult energy to be in, as you can tell from the card. It's stress, anxiety, worry, fears. You're shifting out of a stressful headspace, which feels really, really good, Capricorn. What is Capricorn shifting into in October? Okay. Wow. Your cards are wasting no time. Watching the weather and wasting no time, Capricorn. The Student of Stones. I like this. It's earth energy. It's your energy. What is this trying to say? You know, the Student of Stones or the Page of Pentacles, for me, this is an energy of learning how to work with a certain tangible energy. It's like laying the first stone to begin to build something. Okay, let's see what more information we can get. What does this shapeshift look and feel like for Capricorn in October? Okay, boom, 1, 2, 3. Again, wasting no time. I like that. Okay. Yeah, speaking of laying the first stone, this is great. This is great, great, great. The Ten of Cups, the Navigator, which is the Emperor in typical decks, and this is the Eight of Stones, Eight of Pentacles, laying the first stone, right? Or maybe laying the last stone, laying the final stone. So from the Nine of Swords to the Ten of Cups, this is a stark shift. And yet, I guess sort of a linear progression because we're moving from the 9 to the 10, but it feels like a stark shift in your mental emotional space from stress, worries, anxieties, fears, just feeling like mentally racked with that kind of energy and anxiety. And then suddenly it shifts. Something happens here, Capricorn, and suddenly it's a shift into, You know, the Ten of Cups is a feeling of everything working out, and it's a feeling of satisfaction and sort of a peak experience of emotional happiness. And I like that the Ten of Cups is shown as all these different vessels coming together at a watering hole, or maybe playing in a puddle after the rain. And that's interesting because I felt you going outside and sensing it was going to rain, and then it started to drizzle. And because we're getting this feeling of anxiety, it could be that we're talking a little bit about sensing what's happening globally or what's happening in the world where you are. And, you know, there's a lot of stressful things happening in the world right now, and you're sort of like sensing what might be coming your way, or the changes in the atmosphere that might be happening, and that could be giving you quite a lot of worries, fears, and anxieties. But then it's like there's this shift from worrying about the rain that is to come to playing in the puddles, you know, like gathering with your people and playing in the puddles. Or putting out vessels, since this is the 10 of vessels, putting out a bunch of different vessels to catch the rain and use it for something useful. I think that's more what it's about, Capricorn. Instead of staying in a space of stress around what might be coming your way, I think this is encouraging you to dip into your earth energy of like, okay, well, how do we prepare for what might come? Because we don't know exactly what's going to come, right? But how do we prepare for what might come? And how do we turn this into a situation that can be useful to us? Which I'm speaking to your practical essence here, Capricorn. And I think it's like, okay, well, you know what? Let's gather a bunch of vessels. Let's put them outside and let's collect rainwater. Okay. If it's gonna rain, if it's gonna pour, let's collect rainwater and reuse that and put it to practical application. And that's how you transform worry, stress, fear, anxiety into almost a playful experience or a more joyful use of that energy. Okay, really interesting, because then that helps direct you, give you direction, I think, reorient you in this way, because the Emperor, you know, the Emperor is about leadership, and here we see the Emperor as the navigator, the one at the helm, the one at the front of the ship, deciding where things are going to go and how we're going to orient based on tools of navigation that are perhaps cosmic or larger than us. So again, that's this energy I'm picking up on for you, Capricorn. You might be someone quite sentient, you know, you might be someone who's quite sensitive, who can kind of look up to the forces larger than you, the sky, look to the sky and sense what's going to happen, or read the patterns in the stars, even maybe an astrologer. Someone I'm talking to is an astrologer, but it doesn't have to be. You're sensing what's going on and you're navigating accordingly. Okay. And that's helping to, you know, you're leading yourself and others, directing the ship through these rains, through these rough waters. And you're building something practical, useful, tangible out of it. The Eight of Stones talks about let's get to work. You know, this is brass tacks. This is checking things off the to-do list. And it really feels to me in this reading, Capricorn, like focusing on the tangible things that you can control to some degree, or you know, like focusing on what you want to build and what you are building out of a potentially stressful situation. That is what's going to keep your headspace clear. You know, that's what's going to keep you free of this energy that is quite debilitating. 9 knives in the skull. I mean, yikes. It's a bloody card. So how do we keep you out of that energy, Capricorn? I think it's about practicality. Get really, really physical with it. Get really practical with it. What can I do with my hands? You know? here's something interesting too, because I felt like you were navigating not only with your own perceptions and logic and smarts here as the navigator, but you're also using forces greater than you. You're working with the forces greater than you to navigate, perhaps even forces unseen here, because I mean, it looks like we're looking at the unseen hands, you know, these larger forces at work in our lives. And we have the presence of the stars again so strongly in this card. Interesting. Now I'm getting this message that like, once you're oriented in the right direction, or maybe reoriented because you're shifting out of this headspace, which is just like almost like frozen with anxiety. And once you're able to make the mental, emotional shift, I think that helps you to reorient or redirect. You're navigating in a different way or in a different direction now. And then it's like the unseen hands come in and lay the final stone. They put in that final piece of the puzzle that you haven't been able to find so that you can begin to build, so that you can actually lay the first stone. You see what I mean? They're laying the final stone so you can lay the first stone, so that you can begin something, so you can begin to actually tangibly, physically work with something that you have maybe been trying to work with for some time. So it goes out of the headspace and into the real world here. Ooh, Capricorn, I love this reading for you. Okay, so we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper now and use some other decks and get clarity on this. See if we can get a little more specific with this energy. So if this is resonating with you so far and you'd like to join me for the rest of this reading, click the link in the description box below and that will take you to Patreon. Patreon is an online community I've created for folks that like my work and want to dig deeper. If that sounds like you, head on over there. Please read the description when you get there so that you know how to receive the extended reading, and I will send you the rest of the October shift reading. All right, Capricorn, thanks for joining me. Take care. Protection from the impending flood. And this one says protection from crippling despair. Capricorn, hello. What has this whole reading been talking about? You sensing that the rain is coming and preparing, protecting in response. This is, okay, I sense the impending flood and I protect against it. Okay, I protect against it. I reorient my direction as a result of it. Wow, could not be more literal. And then this card here, it's like, you know, what we're seeing here is essentially the ways that humans have polluted the earth, creating despair, creating destruction and death. And we have the skull here. And you know, facing climate change and facing environmental changes. I mean, look at that impending flood. Gosh, this reading is super intense. It can absolutely bring a sense of crippling despair, a sense of like, we're doomed. You know, this feeling that we're doomed. But Capricorn, I want to bring you back. This reading is bringing you back to this energy. Rather than staying in, we're doomed, we're all screwed, it's all over, we rally into, okay, what can we do? You know, the rains are coming. What can we do? All right, let's put out buckets. Let's do this. You're mobilizing, Capricorn. That's what this whole reading is helping you do. And it's reminding you to rest when you need to rest so that you can come back recharged, rejuvenated with new ideas, because you are absolutely sensing what's going on, and you have the power and the ability to be in a position of leadership, leading others in scary times, through times of great change and structural shifting.